2-minute out of bounds alongside with John Luck. I'm Brian Berard. The New England Patriots played in probably one of the most boring Super Bowls in football history, but they did claim their 6th Super Bowl championship with a 13-3 win over the Los Angeles Rams. John, take me through that game. What went right for the Patriots?
Well, for the Patriots on defense, they shook up Jared Goff. When he went to the sideline and he got hit by Jones in the secondary, when he went down to the ground, it looked like he landed on his throwing arm. So maybe Jared Goff was hurt for most of that game. But before that hit, the defensive line of the Patriots did a good job of chasing Goff out of the pocket and making him think on the fly, which for, a second, third-year quarterback, that's not something you can do in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that the defensive line really was the story of this game. On both sides, I mean, because they were the ones that dominated pretty much. Other than that first drive for the Rams where the Patriots really could just run at them, and we're doing a good job, especially running at Aaron Donald, the back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. I mean, the defensive line just controlled the game. And even though Brady only had, I think, was sacked maybe once, the Patriots defensive line did an amazing job against that Rams offensive line that really had started to come into its own in the postseason. But to me, I know you had to give the Super Bowl MVP to an offensive player, but if you really could have given it to a defensive player, I would say it's probably the defensive line of the New England Patriots, John.
Definitely, and just switching to the offensive side of the ball for a second here with Julian Edelman, he was given the Rams secondary fits. Give credit to Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels, and Julian Edelman. They didn't try and go for the deep passes that add up to the 505 yards from Super Bowl 52. You see on your screen right now, 262 yards. It was a lot of those short passes to Julian Edelman playing underneath the key to lead, because I think that he was going to be an X factor for the Patriots to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what the Patriots threw out there, with the offense, the Rams couldn't stop it. Julian Edelman, they could not cover him. 10 receptions on 12 targets. Over 141 yards he had, 140 yards receptions. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you could not stop Julian Edelman.
But Ndamukong Suh said the Rams did a good job of stopping Edelman. They took him out of the game.
Yeah, they took him out of the end zone.
Good job.
I mean, they kept him out of the end zone. But I want to talk to you about the game itself. I almost fell asleep in this game, John. I mean, I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game. I said 35-24. I thought, you know what? When the Patriots get the ball, they're going to drive down the field, and then, that interception that went off of Hogan's hand, it was a bad throw by Brady, but I'm sitting there going like, oh my God, please, someone do something. It was probably one of the most boring Super Bowls I had ever watched.
See, you say it's the most boring Super Bowl, but this was kind of just a synopsis of the Patriots in 2018. They basically sleepwalked through the regular season to an AFC championship, or AFC East championship. Then they went to the playoffs. They basically sleepwalked their way through the Chargers game because the Chargers were a god-awful team anyways. There was really only one game they had to win, and that was a shootout against the Kansas City Chiefs. So to have the expectations that the Patriots are going to go ahead and put 40, 45 points on the LA Rams, I think that might have been a little high, because don't forget, technically this was a road game for the Patriots, and they haven't done...
How is this technically a road game?
Well, it was away from Gillette, even though you had the stupid horn.
It was a neutral site, but it was like 70% Patriots fans.
Yeah, you had the stupid horn going, but
stupid horn, John. You love that third down horn.
I don't know what you're talking about,
Brian. I mean, the thing is, the fans' discrepancy was easily, 70-30 Patriots fans? Yeah. So it was pretty much a home game. And of course, in Atlanta, the city where you had the 28-3 comeback against them. But so... let's talk about Tom Brady's play. I mean, I'm one of the people, I think, after Super Bowl 51, you can say, yep, he's the greatest of all time. But a rather pedestrian 262 yards, 1 interception, and that one pick that he did throw, no laces, wobbly throw, a little high, off of Hogan's hands. It's great to see that this Patriots team could have won without Tom Brady being an elite quarterback.
And I think that's what you need for Tom Brady to play to 45. That's what he's been talking about for the past couple of years. He wants to play to 45. You can't expect him to go out there, throw over 300, 350 yards every single week. You have to have, stretches now where you depend on Sony Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead, which is what they've done for most of the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So looking forward to the 2019 season, we're going to have to see a lot more of that. And then you bring into question maybe the receivers for the Patriots in 2019.
Okay. Now, John, we spoke about this last night during the game. I thought Sony Michel was deserving of the MVP. I think had he gone over 100 yards, maybe he would have got a little bit more consideration, but Julian Edelman got the MVP. You said he was going to get the MVP. I mean, I think, you couldn't really be wrong with either one of them, but outside of those two, who else do you think could have got MVP?
Well, I mean, it was such a sleeper of a game. You probably could have given it to Ryan Allen, the punter. I mean, it was just a god-awful game. But I think you could have maybe given consideration to a guy like a Rob Gronkowski, I guess, because of that reception, or a Tom Brady. But this was such a pedestrian game that you really only had 2 or 3 choices with Michelle, Brady, and Edelman. Or maybe if you go defensively, you can talk about Kyle Van Noy.
I was going to say Kyle Van Noy would be my guy. I mean, he had a standout game. He didn't do a lot of stuff that's really going to wow you. I think maybe a sack in the game. I'm not 100% sure. But I think Kyle Van Noy had a tremendous game. But let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams now, John. Not quite ready for prime time. I think Jared Goff, the lights may have been a little too bright. We even saw it in the fourth quarter with the debacle of, do you accept the penalty? Do you decline the penalty? Sean McVay is, well, I don't know really what you want to do.
We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think the Rams are a good team, just not quite there yet. I think that the moment got a little too big. We saw it in the first half of the NFC Championship game, a little too big for them, and I think again the Super Bowl, a little bit too big for them. And the Patriots, gave them opportunities to stay in the game. I mean, Gostkowski missed a field goal, and barely made the other 2, but I think that, I'm not saying the Patriots are toying with them, but I think the Patriots gave them opportunities, and I think the Patriots left some points up on the board.
And Los Angeles is still a rather young football team. You have C.J. Anderson on the Rams, but he's probably a lone big veteran along with Sue defensively. But offensively, this is a very young football team. You have Goff. You also have Todd Gurley, who I'm still wondering why he didn't play as much as I thought he was going to play. But you still have a young football coach in Sean McVay. So this is just another year in the growing process. Last year they made it to the playoffs. This year they made it to the Super Bowl. And let's be honest, they didn't belong in the Super Bowl. It was that one fluke call that put them in the Super Bowl. So technically they were playing with house money, I guess. Maybe this was part of the growing process for a team like the LA Rams. I think that they have a legitimate shot at making it back to the big game next year.
Yeah, I think Todd Gurley not playing. I know C.J. Anderson had a couple Super Bowl experiences with the Denver Broncos, and I think maybe that's why McVay went with him. I don't think Gurley was hurt at all. I mean, I know he banged up his knee. He had big, surgery coming off in college, but I just think this was, from what I've heard, the moment was a little bit too big for him, and he might have had a little bit of a deer in the headlights look, like, what am I doing here? So I think that's why they were maybe trying to protect Todd Gurley a little bit. That's the only explanation I have, because he had 10 carries for 35 yards in that game. He ripped off a near 20-yard run too in the second half. So I just think the moment may have been a little bit too big for Todd Gurley.
But there were other weapons that the Rams could have used as well in the passing game. Maybe those short passes like what got Brady down the field into the red zone for the only time for the Patriots. You have Cooks, Woods, you have Reynolds, who's a great tight end for the Rams. There were openings, like you said, for the Rams to get on the scoreboard. It's just that the moment was too big for this rather young football team.
All right, well, the New England Patriots, 6 Super Bowl championships in franchise history. Rolling rally tomorrow at 11 a.m. starts at Boylston Street. We'll go all the way to City Plaza, so if you're going to go there, take some pictures, put some videos online, have a good time. I think we learned from the Red Sox parade, you don't need to throw the beers at the people. I mean, Gronk's probably going to catch some. Edelman's going to catch some.
The Lombardi Trophy can at least take a beer hit.
It
I mean, the World Series Trophy, those are very small flags.
Yeah, it can. But as always, a reminder, you can watch plenty of BTV programming, including Out of Bounds, on YouTube. So just go to youtube.com and search BTV Access Corporation. So for John Luck, I'm Brian Berard. Thanks for watching Out of Bounds.